Hello. Let's start with section 9.4, partial fraction, or the decomposition of n of x of d of x into partial fractions. So the first thing, if we have an improper fraction, which is the degree of n of x greater than or equal the degree of d of x. That means the highest exponent here is greater than the highest exponent here. So in this case, we're going to use the long division. And n of x over d of x is going to be the result from the long division plus n1 of x, which is the remainder, divided by d of x, which is the divisor. If you have a proper fraction, which is mean the degree of n of x less than the degree of d of x, that means the exponent here less than the exponent here. So in this case, this is a proper fraction. Then, so if you have an improper fraction, you're just going to use the long division. And for the rest here, you have C is going to be proper fraction. In this case, you're going to go to step 2. If you have a proper fraction, you're just going to go to step 2 right away. Now, in step 2, you're going to factor the denominator. That means completely factor the denominator into factors of the form. We have two forms. We have the linear form and we have the quadratic form. So if you have linear factors, in this case, you're going to go to step 3. If you have a quadratic factors, you're going to go to step 4. Step 3 for the linear factor is going to be a over px plus a q and plus b over px plus a q squared, and keep going on. If you have 3 factors, it's going to be either cubed here, or instead of m cubed, is going to be plus c over px plus a q. If you have a quadratic factor, it's going to be b1x over the quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c, plus b2x plus c2 divided by ax squared plus bx plus c squared, and keep going on. So these are the notes for section 9.4. Now let's start doing the examples. So let's go to the first questions here. They're telling you the process of writing expression as the sum of difference of two more time rational expression is called partial fraction decomposition. And that's what we're going to study on this section, partial fraction decomposition. The second one is the degree of numerator of the rational expression is greater than or equal to the denominator or than the fraction is an improper fraction. Let's go to number 3. Take the fraction on the right side of the equation. Here is the right side. This one, you see, here is n of x, and this is d of x. So this is n of x, and this is d of x. In this case, if you look to these two sides here, which is the right side, these are called the partial fraction. So we're going to call this one partial fraction. That's it for this example. Number 4, you obtain by multiplying each side of the partial fraction decomposition by the least common denominator. We're going to multiply always both sides of the basic fraction by the least common denominator. That's the second steps when we solve the basic equation. You have to multiply by the least common denominator. So number 5, let's check number 5. They ask you match the rational expression with the form of its decomposition. So here is the rational expression. We need to find which form of its decomposition or the partial fraction. It's this one, this one, this one, or this one. So now let's check. If you look to the factor, we have two factors. The first one is the x, and the second one is x minus 4. So both these two factors are linear. So it's linear factor. That means it's going to be a over the first factor plus b over the second factor. That means a, we're going to put a over the first factor, which is x, and b over the second factor, which is x minus 4. So that means the right one is going to be this one, which is a over the first factor, x, because our factors is x and x minus 4, two factors. So we're going to put a over this one, which is a over x, plus b over x minus 4. That means this is the right solution. So I'm just going to choose this one. Now let's keep going to the second one. Example 6. We're going to do the same thing. Match the rational expression with the form of its decomposition. So now we're going to check. We have also two factors. We have, here is the basic or the rational expression. We have x squared, x minus 4. If you look here, this is a quadratic. That means we have to write down as an x and x squared as a factor, x and x squared, and the next factor is x minus 4, which is linear. So the solution is going to be a and b and c. So we're going to put a over x, the first factor, plus the second one, because this is a quadratic, so it's going to be repeated. That means the first one over and the second one, it's repeated. So it's going to be a over x and b over x squared. And then we still have a linear factor here, which is, so we're going to add c over x minus 4. That means we have to choose this one, a over x, b over x squared, and c over x minus 1. So this one is the right one. Let's keep going to example 7. Example 7, again, we have to look to the factors. They're telling you the same thing. Match the rational expression with the form of its decomposition. So if you look to this one, we have x as a linear factor, and we have x minus 4 squared. It's a linear square, linear factor square. So it's going to be, our factor is x, and is x minus 4, and we have x minus 4 squared. X minus 4 squared. That means in this case is going to be a over x and b over x minus 4 and c over x minus 4 squared. So a over x, b over x minus 4, and c over x minus 4 squared. That means we're going to choose this one. That's it for this example. For number 8, match the rational expression with the form of its decomposition. So be careful here. We have 3x minus 1. Now we have a linear factors here, but we have x squared minus 4. X squared minus 4, it's a quadratic. You have to check. Can you factor this one? That means this one is going to be 3x minus 1 over, here's x. Yes, I can factor this one by using difference between two squares. So I'm going to open two parentheses, x here, and x here, and 2 here, because 4 is 2 times 2, and 2 here. I'm going to put a plus here and minus here. And it doesn't matter about the sign. You're going to put minus and a plus. That means this is our factor, x and x plus 2 and x minus 2. We have a 3 linear factor. So it's going to be a over x plus b over x plus 2 and plus c over x minus 2. That means this is our partial fractions. So we have to choose this one. That means I can choose this one, the right solution. That's it for example 8. Let's keep going. Number 9. Number 9, now write the partial fraction decomposition of the rational expression and check your result. So now we have to solve this one. We need to find the partial fraction. So here is example 9. So let's check how we're going to solve this one. The first thing, I'm going to check, can I factor this one, the denominator? Yes. So it's going to be 6 over, I'm going to take the GCF, the greatest common factor, x as a common, and the left here is x minus 3. Now, next step is write down, this is linear factor, this is linear factor, so it's going to be equal a over x plus b over x minus 3. Now, the next step, we're going to multiply by the least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything here by the least common denominator, which is x minus 3. So in this case, it's going to be 6 over x minus 3 times x minus 3 equal a over x times x minus 3 plus b over x minus 3 times x minus 3. Now we need to simplify it. So these cancel with these. Now cancel the x with the x minus 3 with x minus 3. Let's write down what's the leftover. On this side is just 6 equal. On this side, a on the parentheses, so a, and here's x minus 3, plus, what's the left here? Just b with the x. Now here, what we're going to do, distribute. We're going to distribute a on the parentheses. So that's me at 6 here equal ax minus 3a plus bx. Now we're just going on the right side, we're going to combine or group the like terms. So the like terms, which is this one and this one, I'm going to group these together. So 6 equal a plus b with the x minus 3a. Now you see this is the term with the x. A plus b is a number, is a constant. A plus b with the x, and there is just a number by itself. So if you look on the other side, there's no x. That means 0x. So this one is going to be equal 0. That means 0 is going to be equal a plus b. This is a constant, and this is a constant. That means this one is going to be equal this one. So this is the first equation. And the second one is going to be 6 equal negative 3a. This is the second one. Now I'm going to solve the second one because I'm going to find the value of a by just dividing both sides by negative 3. So I'm going to divide this one by negative 3 and divide this one by negative 3. That means a is going to be equal negative 2. Then next step, we're going to plug in this one on the first one. So from 1, we're going to get a, or we have to find the b. So b is going to be equal negative a. I'm just going to move the a to the other side by minus a from both sides. So b is going to be equal negative a. So b is going to be equal negative 2. That means b is going to be equal to. So we have the value of a and we have the value of b. That means the partial fractions for 6 over x squared minus 3x is going to be equal a, which is negative 2 over x, plus b, which is 2 over x minus 3. So our solution is going to be, for number 9, fraction. You see, I'm going to click on the fraction. So it's going to be negative 2 divided by x, plus another fraction here. And it's going to be 2 divided by x minus 3. That's it for number 9. Now, example 10. Example 10, which is 7 over x squared plus x minus 12. If you look to the degree on the top, the degree of the top, there is no x, that means 0. And on the bottom is 2. So 0 less than 2. That means this is proper fraction. So in this case, I'm going to go to step 2. I'm going to factor the denominator. So this one is going to be 7 over, I'm going to open 2 parentheses. And here is x. Here is x. I'm going to say 4, 3. I'm going to put the plus. I'm going to put minus. Now, if you need to check, 4 times x is going to be 4x. X times negative 3 is going to be negative 3x. Add these together is going to be 1x, which is the middle term. That means this is the right factors for x squared plus x minus 12. Now, if you look to the factors are linear factors. So this one is going to be equal a over the first factor, which is x plus 4, plus b over the second factor, which is x minus 3. So we're done on this step. Next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply by the least common denominator, which is x plus 4 and x minus 3. So I'm going to multiply everything times x plus 4 and x minus 3. That means it's going to be 7 over x plus 4, x minus 3 times x plus 4, x minus 3 equal a over x plus 4 times x plus 4 and x minus 3 plus b over x minus 3 times x plus 4, and here is x minus 3. Now, next step, we're going to cancel these two. We're going to go on with these two. And here is x plus 4, and x minus 3, x minus 3. So let's write down the left from the left side is 7 equal. From the right side, we have a, and the parentheses x minus 3, plus b, and the parentheses x plus 4. Now, next step, we're going to distribute here, and we're going to distribute here. A times x and a times negative 3, b times x and b times 4. So 7 is going to be equal ax minus 3a plus bx plus 4b. Now, next step, we're going to group the lag terms. Where is the lag terms? So this one is similar to this one. So I'm going to group these together. And here's a constant, and here is a constant. So we're going to add these together. So 7 is going to be equal A plus B. And here is the X. I'm going to say plus. I have negative 3A plus 4B. This one is a number, is a constant. This one, a number with the X. So we is equal sign. Do you have a number with X here? No, that means this one equals 0. So the first equation is going to be 0 equal A plus B. This is the first one. The second one, we have a number here, and we have, this is a constant. That means 7 is going to be equal negative 3A plus 4B. So again, we have two equations. You need to solve these two equations. It's up to you which method you're going to use. You can use substitution method to solve the system, because this is a system. This is the first equation, and here is the second one. Or you can use the elimination method. So to solve this system, I'm going to multiply the first one by 3. I'm going to use the elimination method. So the first equation is going to be 0 equal 3A plus 3B. And the second one is 7 equal negative 3A plus 4B. Now add these together, 3A plus negative 3A, this is cancelled. 0 plus 7 is going to be 7 equal 3 plus 4 is going to be 7B. Now divide both sides by 7. That means B is going to be equal 7. Now let's go back here. I'm going to solve the first equation by move A to the other side. Is 0 equal A plus B. I'm going to say minus A from both sides. That means B is going to be equal negative A. How much B we need to solve it? Oh, we have the value of B. We need to find the value of A. So I'm going to solve it for A. So I'm going to say minus B on both sides. That means this is cancelled. So A is going to be equal negative B. B equal 7. That means, sorry, B equal 1. 7 divided by going to be 1. Now plug in 1 here. That means A is going to be equal negative 1. Found the value of A. We're just going to go back here and plug in A here and B. That means 7 over x plus 4, x minus 3 is going to be equal A, which is negative 1 over x plus 4, plus B, which is 1 over x minus 3. These two are the partial fraction for this rational expression. That's it for this example. We're just going to plug in everything here. So fraction is going to be negative 1 over x plus 4. And here is going to be plus. Another fraction is going to be 1 over x minus 3. That's it for this example. I think if we change this one, so be careful when you tap the X. Same thing here, it's not capital X. That's it for number 10. For number 11, write the partial, yes, the same thing. So x squared plus 12x plus 12 over x cubed minus 4x. So the first thing, we're going to check the exponents. So the exponents here and the exponents is 2 and the exponents here 3. That means 2 less than 3. In this case, this is proper fraction. So we're going to go to the next step. We're going to factor the denominator. So the first step, we have to factor the denominator completely. So the first here, we're going to take the GCF. So this one is going to be equal x squared plus 12x plus 12 divided by x as a common, and the left is going to be x squared minus 4. We didn't finish by factoring the denominator because I can factor this one to using difference between two squares. That means x squared plus 12x plus 12 divided by x, and I'm going to open two parentheses. I'm going to say x here, and 4 is 2 times 2, so here's 2, and here's 2. I'm going to put plus and minus. So this one, now if you look here, here's the factors. This is linear, and this is linear, because the highest exponent is 1. The exponent here is 1, that's why it's linear. So it's going to be equal a over the first factor, which is x, plus b over the second factor, which is x plus 2, plus c over the third one, which is x minus 2. So now we're going to multiply by the least common denominator, which is x plus 2 times x minus 2. So that each term we have to multiply it by the least common denominator. So here is going to be, I'm going to write down smaller because there is no room. So x squared plus 12x plus 12 divided by x plus 2, and x minus 2. This one is multiplied by the least common denominator, which is times x plus 2, and x minus 2. This is the first one. Now it's going to be equal a over x times the least common denominator, which is x plus 2, and x minus 2. Now the second term here is going to be plus b over x plus 2, and times the least common denominator, which is x. I'm going to write down the left here, x plus 2 and x minus 2. And the third term here, which is a plus c over x minus 2 times the least common denominator, which is x plus 2, and x minus 2. Now, next step, we're going to cancel. So everything here is going to cancel with this one. The left on the right side is x squared plus 12x plus 12 equal a over x. Cancel the x with the x. The left here is a x plus 2, x minus 2. With the b, we're going to cancel x plus 2 with the x plus 2. So the left is bx and x minus 2 plus bx and x minus 2. For the C, we're going to cancel this one with this one. The left, I'm going to write down here. It's a plus C and X plus 2. Now, next step, I'm going to write down this again. Plus 12X plus 12 is going to be equal. I'm going to write down the A, or we can write down AX plus 2A. Then you're going to distribute, because you're going to distribute the A here, and then you're going to distribute this parentheses to the other parentheses. So let's first of all distribute the A here. So it's going to be AX plus 2A, and here's the second parentheses, plus, I'm just going to distribute BX here. So BX squared plus minus negative BX, or minus 2BX. Then distribute the CX on the parentheses. So CX times X is going to be plus CX squared, and CX times 2 is going to be plus 2CX. Then finish from distributing this side is okay here, but we need to distribute these two parentheses. So X squared plus 12X plus 12 is going to be equal. AX times 2A is going to be 2AX squared. Let's keep going. So distribute AX times X is going to be AX squared. AX times negative 2X. So AX times negative 2, so it's going to be negative 2AX. Then 2A times X is going to be plus 2AX, and 2A times negative 2 is going to be negative 4A. Now let's keep going. Plus BX squared minus 2BX plus CX squared plus 2CX. Now let's combine the like terms here. But first of all, if you look here, negative 2 AX and 2AX, so these cancel out. Let's put down the groups, X squared, and I have X squared, so this one is going to be with this one. X, and here is X, so this term is similar to this one, because it's just X. And we have 4A, that means this is a constant. I'm going to put a 3 line. And this one also similar to this one. X squared, and this is X squared too. Okay, so let's put down these together as a groups. So here is X squared plus a 12X plus a 12 equal. I'm going to put A plus B plus C, because all these terms with X squared. And we have only this term with the X, and we have negative 2B with the X. So it's going to be negative plus negative 2B plus 2C with the X, and the number by itself, which is just the constant negative 4A. Negative 4A here. Now let's, this one equal this one. So if you look here, the X squared is going to be equal to the x squared here. So I'm going to put the coefficient here is 1. So 1 is going to be equal a plus b plus c. And the x, which is 12 here, is going to be equal negative 2b plus 2c. Because 12x similar to this constant with the x, of a coefficient with the x. And the 12 is going to be equal negative 4a. So this is the first one, and the second one, and here is the third one. Now we need to solve this system to find the value of a and b and c. What I'm going to do, if you look to number 3, we have only to find the a. So if you divide both sides by negative 4, a is going to be equal negative 3. So this is the value of a. So I'm going to use, we have the value of a. So I'm going to plug in on the first one to find another equation, which is b plus c. So I'm going to plug in negative 3 here. So from 1, so it's going to be 1 equal. Put down negative 3 here. So negative 3 plus b plus c. Now add 3 to the both sides. That means we have 1 plus 3 is going to be 4. So 4 is going to be equal b plus c. So these are cancelled. So this is a new equation. I'm going to write down this is number 4. Equation number 4. I'm going to now write down, because it's a b plus c. So I'm going to write down 2 here. That means 12 equal negative 2 b plus 2c. This is number 2. I just wrote number 2 here. So let's keep going. So it's up to you. You want to multiply number 4 by 2, or you want to divide this one by 2. So I'm going to divide this one by 2. So number 4 is going to be 4 equal b plus c. And the new equations for this one after dividing by 2 is going to be 6 equal negative b plus c. Now by elimination, cancel this one. So we're going to get 10 equal 2c. Divide both sides by 2. That means c is going to be equal 5. So now we have c equal 5 and a equal negative 3. You can plug in this one and this one here to find 1. Or you can plug in c in one of these equations to find the value of b. So by 4, I'm going to use number 4. Equations number 4. 4 equal b plus c, which is equal 5. Now minus 5 from both sides. That means b equal is going to be negative 1. So we have the value of a and b and c. We're just going to plug in these 3 on the partial to get the partial fractions. So I'm going to write down the next step here. In this case, we have x squared plus a 12x plus 12 over x plus 2, and x minus 2 is going to be equal a, which is negative 3 over x plus b, which is negative 1. So you can write down minus 1 because it's negative 1 over x plus 2 and plus the value of c, which is 5 over x minus 2. So this is the rational equation, and here is the partial fraction, negative 3 over x, negative 1 over x plus 2, and 5 over x minus 2. So we're going to plug in these here. It's going to be fraction. We're going to click on the fraction, negative 3 divided by x, and minus another fraction is 1 over x plus 2, and plus another fraction, which is 5 over x minus 2. That's it for this example. Let's keep going. For example 12. For example 12, we have 5x over x minus 5 squared. So let's check how we're going to solve this one. So we're going to do the same thing. I can factor this one because this is x minus 5 squared. That means it's a linear factor, but squared. So in this case, this one is going to be equal a over x minus 5, because it's repeated, plus b over x minus 5 squared. In this case, you're going to multiply by the least common denominator, which is x minus 5 squared. You're going to multiply by x minus 5 squared. So here's going to be 5x over x minus 5 squared times x minus 5 squared equal a over x minus 5 times x minus 5 squared plus b over x minus 5 squared times x minus 5 squared. Now let's cancel. This one cancel with this one. This one cancel with this one. And here we're going to cancel only with one because here is squared. That means 2 parentheses. I'm going to cancel one. The left is only 1. So be careful here. So from the left side is going to be 5x equal a with 1 parentheses plus just b. Next step, we're going to distribute the a. So it's going to be 5x equal ax minus 5a plus b. Next step, I'm going to group this one. It's by itself. And here's the other group, which is a number with a number, so it's going to be constant. There is no constant here because we have x, so this 5 is going to be equal a. Because here's the term with the x, which is similar to this one. So 5 is going to be equal a. That means here's the value of a. The second one, there is no constant here, which is means 0. So 0 is going to be equal negative 5a plus b. I have the value of a. This is the first equation, which is already solved, a equal 5, and here is the second one. Now we're going to plug in a equal 5 here. That means 0 is going to be equal negative 5 times 5 plus b. That means 0 is going to be equal negative 25 plus b. We're going to add 25 to the both sides. That means b is going to be equal positive 25. So we have the value of b, we have the value of a. We're just going to go ahead and write down the rational, the partial fraction. So 5x over x minus 5 squared is going to be equal a, which is 5 divided by x minus 5 plus b, which is 25 divided by x minus 5 squared. That's it for this one. This is the partial fraction. So we're just going to type here fraction 5x, sorry, 5 over x minus 5. And here it's going to be plus another fraction as a 25 over parentheses. We're going to put here x minus 5. We're going to go outside. Here is the square. We're going to click this one and we're going to put the square. So this is the partial fraction, for example, the 12 or for the rational equations here. That's it for number 12. 13 is going to be exactly like number 12. So to find the rational, the partial fraction for this rational expression. So if you look here, this one is going to be equal, going to be a over x minus 3 and plus, you can put this one in parentheses, it's fine, b over x minus 3 squared. Then next step, you're going to multiply both sides by the least common denominator, which is x minus 3 squared. And then there's going to be 8x minus 25 over x minus 3 squared. It's going to be equal times the least common denominator, which is x minus 3 squared, equal a over x minus 3 times x minus 3 squared plus b over x minus 3 squared times x minus 3 squared. So we're going to cancel this one with this one. We're going to cancel one with one of these parentheses. We're going to cancel this one with this one. So the left from here is 8x minus 25 equal a with one of these parentheses, x minus 3 plus b. That's it, because we're going to cancel these. Next step, we're going to distribute a here on the parentheses. So it's going to be 8x minus 25 equal ax minus 3a plus b. Let's put down these in groups. So if you look, there is no term similar to this one on the right side. And if you look, this one is a number, this one is a number. That's mean both these just a number by itself, or you can say constant. I can put this one in the groups. Now let's equal the group from here, from the left side with the right side. 8x is similar to ax. That means in this case, 8 is going to be equal a. We don't have to solve it because it's already solved. For the second group, this is a number by itself, and this is the constant, this is the constant. We're going to equal these two together. So negative 25 is going to be equal negative 3a plus b. So we already have the value of a. I'm going to plug in the value of a here. That's mean negative 25 is going to be equal negative 3 times 8 plus b. So negative 25 is going to be equal negative 3 times 8 is going to be negative 24 plus b. And we need to solve it for b, so I'm going to add 24 to the both sides. This one is going to cancel. Negative 24 plus, so we're going to add 24 here, and we're going to add 24 here. This is cancel. That means b is going to be equal negative 1. So a equal 8 and b equal negative 1. We're going to go back here and plug in a and b here to find the partial fraction. So 8x minus 25 over x minus 3 squared is going to be equal a, which is 8, over x minus 3 plus, so it's minus because negative 1, so I'm going to just say it's minus 1 over x minus 3 squared. That's it for 13. So we're just going to plug in here 8 over x minus 3 minus, we're going to put 1 over parentheses x minus 3 and squared. That's it for number 13. Let's check 14. How are we going to solve 14? 14, we have the rational expression is 2x over x cubed minus 27. So it's a proper fraction. Why? Because if you check the exponent here is 1, the exponent here is a 3, 1 less than a 3. That's why it's a proper fraction. So next step, we need to factor the denominator. How are we going to factor this one? It's a cube, cube to cube. So we have to use the cubed rule. The difference between two cubes. That means this one is going to be equal 2x over the cubic root for the first one, which is x, minus the cubic root of 27, which is a 3. We're going to open another parenthesis. Square the first term, which is x squared. Change the sign. The first one times the second one. So x times the 3 is going to be 3x. Plus the cube for the, the square for the second one, which is 9. So plus 9. The main thing you have to use the cubic between the difference between two cubes. And here's the result. That means this one is equal to this one. We can't factor this one. You have to check that. We can't. So that's why I'm going to write down this again. It's 2x over x minus 3 and x squared plus 3x plus 9, and this one is going to be equal. If you look to the first factor, it is linear. That means we're going to write down a over. This is linear, so I'm going to say it's a over x minus 3. But if you look to the second factor, first of all, we can't factor this one because if you open two parentheses, let's do a hint here on the side. If I need to factor this one, I'm going to open two parentheses, x. If I put the 3 here and the 3 here, add minus, we can't get the middle term. If you put 9 and 1, you can't get the middle term. We can factor this one by using only the quadratic formula, which is going to be complex number. So that means I can't do anything with this one. So I'm going to keep it. But I need to find a partial fraction. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the partial fraction with the quadratic factors. So if it's a quadratic factor, that means I'm going to use this one. I don't have to repeat it because it's only one factor, so I'm going to use only this one. So I'm going to say it's bx plus c. So in this case, I'm going to say this is a plus bx plus c over the root, which is x squared, or the factor x squared plus 3x plus 9. So that's the partial fraction for this one. Now, next step, you're going to do exactly the same steps. You're going to multiply by the least common denominator, which is everything here. So I'm going to multiply everything here by x minus 3 and the other parentheses, which is x squared plus 3x plus 9. Let's work on it step by step. So here is going to be 2x over x minus 3, x squared plus 3x plus 9, and everything is times the least common denominator, which is x minus 3, and x squared plus 3x plus 9. And here's the equal sign. Here's the equal sign. I'm going to write down now a over x minus 3 times the least common denominator, which is x minus 3 and x squared plus 3x plus 9 plus bx over, yeah, we can do that here, plus c over x squared plus 3x plus 9 times the least common denominator, which is x minus 3 and x squared plus 3x plus 9. Now we're going to cancel everything here, going to cancel with everything here. The left is only 2x. Equal. We're going to cancel x minus 3 with x minus 3. The left here is a, and parentheses is x squared plus 3x plus 9. So this one. Plus, we're going to cancel this one with this one. So the left is bx. I'm going to put it in parentheses, bx plus c, because it's two terms, and it's going to be times x minus 3. Now we're done from this step. Let's keep going. Next step, I'm going to distribute the A. So here is 2x is going to be equal A times x squared is going to be ax squared. A times 3x is going to be plus 3ax. A times 9, so it's going to be plus 9a. Plus, now dx times x is going to be plus dx squared. Dx times negative 3, negative 3 dx. And be careful when you're doing these steps. Now c times x is going to be cx. C times negative 3 is negative 3c. Now the easiest way here, let's group the like terms here. Because this side is just 2x equal. I have x squared here, and I have x squared here. I'm going to put these together. So it's going to be a plus b, and here is the x squared. Now I have x here. I'm going to put 2 lines here, and I have an x here, and I have an x here. I'm going to put these together. That's mean a plus is going to be 3a minus 3b plus c, everything with the x. Now I have, this is a constant, and here is the constant, a 3 line. So I'm going to say plus 9a minus 3c, close the parentheses. Now let's equal the like terms here with the like terms here. There is no x squared here, that means it's 0. So 0 is going to be equal a plus b. This is the first equation. Now the term with the x, this one, the term with the x, this one. That means 2 is going to be equal this one. So 2 is going to be equal to 3a minus 3b plus c. This is number 2. And there is no constant here, and this is the constant. That means 0 is going to be equal 9a minus 3c. So this is the third equation. Now you have to figure out how you're going to solve this one to find a and b and c. So if you look to the third one, I'm going to solve the third one. I'm going to solve these 3 equations by substitution. So I'm going to take the third equation and solve it for a. Take the third equation and solve it for a. So I'm going to move the c to the other side. So I'm going to add 3c to the both sides. Cancel here. That means 3c is going to be equal 9a. Let's solve it for c. Now this one, if I divide both sides by 3, so c is going to be equal to 3a. Didn't finish. I'm going to say this is number 4. Equations number 4. Okay. Let's do some steps here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug in c equal to 3a in number 2. So by 2 by 2, we're going to plug in, and instead of c, we're going to plug in a 3a. So it's going to be 2 equal 3a minus 3b plus c equal to 3a. So it's going to be plus 3a. Let's combine these together because 3a plus 3a is going to be 6a. That means 2 is going to be equal 6a minus 3b. Now this is the new equations number 5. Now number 5 is similar to number 1, which is a and b. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down number 1. I'm going to say 0 equal a plus b. This is number 1. Now I'm going to solve these two equations by elimination. So I'm going to multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3. So number 5 is going to be 2 equal 6a minus 3b. This is number 5. And number 1 is going to be 0 equal 8 times 3 is going to be 3a plus 3b. By elimination, we're going to cancel this one. So 2 is going to be equal 9a. That means in this case, a is going to be equal, divide both sides by 9. So it's going to be 2 over 9. So this is the value of a. In this case, we can find the value of c. By just plugging a here, we're going to find c. And we can find b by plugging a here, we can solve it to find b. Let's keep going. Now, by 1, we'll go back to 1. By 1, 0 equal a plus b. The value of a is 2 over 9. So 0 is going to be equal 2 over 9 plus b. That means b equal negative 2 over 9. And by 4, it says c equal 3a. So c equal 3 times how much a? A is 2 over 9. So we're going to cancel these. That means c is going to be equal 3, cancel with the 3 is going to be 3. So the left here is going to be 3 times 2 over 9. So 2 over 3. So it's going to be c equal 2 over 3. So we have the value of a, which is 2 over 9. The value of b is negative 2 over 9. And the value of c is 2 over 3. Now we need to write down the partial fraction. So here's the thing. For this one, is right if you plug in c equal 2 over 3. But with the sign, they're not going to accept it because we need to find the common. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to simplify 3 with the 9. I'm going to keep it exactly the same. I'm not going to simplify it. I'm just going to keep it, just multiply 3 times 2. I'm going to say c equal 6 over 9. And let's check. When you plug in, I'm going to show you why I'm going to keep it 6 over 9. So when we plug in now, instead of a and b and c, that means now I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to write down the value of a, which is 2 over 9. And I'm going to plug in everything here. The first one. So 2x over x minus 3 and x squared plus 3x plus 9 is going to be equal. The value of a is 2 over 9. So here is 2 over 9 divided by x minus 3 plus the value of b is negative 2 over 9 x plus c, which is 6 over 9. And everything is divided by x squared plus 3x plus 9. That's why I kept it 6 over 9. Now I have common between these two terms. So I'm going to take the common here. So this is 2 over 9 over x minus 3, going to be plus. The common between these two terms, I'm going to take the negative 2 over 9. So I'm going to take negative 2 over 9. Let's check what's the left here. If you take the negative 2 over 9, it's going to be just x. This sign, a plus, I can say it's negative 6 over 9. If I take negative 2 over 9, so I'm going to say this is negative 2 times the 3 over 9. Now, I'm going to take negative here as a common, 2 over 9. The 2 over 9 here. The left is going to be negative 3. So here is negative 3. And everything is divided by x squared plus 3x plus 9. Now take the common here, 2 over 9, negative times positive is going to be negative. That means this one is going to be 2 over 9 over x minus 3 minus, here is 2 over 9, and here is x minus 3 divided by x squared plus 3x plus 9. Now let's take the common between these two terms, which is 2 over 9 out. So this one is going to be 2 over 9, and the left here is 1 over x minus 3, because we can take this one out, and here we can take this one out. So the left is just x minus 3 minus over x squared plus 3x plus 9. That's the answer you can plug in here. You don't have to put parentheses here. Just close the big one. So this is the result for this example. For example 13, so we're going to say it's fraction 2 over 9. And we're going to open parentheses. Another fraction 1 over x minus 3. And minus, we're going to put another fraction x minus 3 over x squared and plus 3x plus 9. That's it. We have to close the parentheses. That's it for this example. So for example 15, it's 4x cubed. It's not 2, it's 4. For x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 7. Divide by x squared plus 3x plus 2. Okay, so this is example 15. Let's try to solve this one. In this case, if you look to the exponents on the top, which is a 3, and the exponents on the bottom is 2, the highest exponent. I'm talking about the highest exponent. If 3 greater than 2, that means in this case, this is improper fraction. So if it's improper fraction, that means you're going to go to the first case. Improper fraction, so we're going to use the long division. So let's check how we're going to use the long division. So I'm going to write down this, divide by this one. And be careful when you do the long division, make sure there is no missing term. So if there is missing term, you have to type 0 on the term. Like if there is missing x squared, you're going to write down 0x squared. Now let's start doing the long division. So the first thing, we're going to start dividing 4x cubed. Divide by x squared. That means it's 4x. Now 4x times x squared is going to be 4x cubed. You have to keep going. 4x times 3x is going to be plus 12x squared. 4x times 2 is going to be plus 8x. Now, this is a plus, it's going to be minus, this is minus, and this is minus. Cancel these. So a -1 minus 12 is going to be negative 13x squared. 1 minus 8 is going to be minus 7x. Now we're going to write down the 7, so plus 7. Now we have to keep going. Negative 13x squared. Divide by x squared, so it's going to be negative 13. So here is negative 13. Now negative 13 times x squared is going to be negative 13x squared. Negative 13 times 3 is going to be negative 39x squared. So negative 39x, not squared, x. Negative 39x. Now negative 13 times 2 is going to be negative 26. Change the sign. This one is going to be plus. This one is going to be plus. This one is going to be plus. Cancel these. Now we just have to add. Negative 7 plus 39 is going to be negative 32. So it's going to be negative 7 plus 39 is going to be 32x. And 7 plus 26 plus 33. So now 32 divide by by x squared. This is x squared. This is 32x. So we can't. That means this is the remainder. Now we have to go back and use the rule. The rational expression here is going to be the result, which is this one, plus the remainder, which is this one. This is the remainder, divide by the divisor, which is this one. So the rational expression, this one, which is here, I'm going to write down this again. That means 4x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 7 divided by x squared plus 3x plus 2 is going to be equal. The result, which is 4x minus 13 plus, here is the remainder, which is 32x plus 33 divided by the divisor, which is x squared plus 3x plus 2. Now we've done from the first step. If you look to on this part, it's a proper fraction. 32x plus 33, the highest exponent is 1. The highest exponent here is 2. So we're going to find the partial fraction only for this part. So now, the next step, we're going to work only on this one to find the partial fraction of this one. So let's check how we're going to do that. We're going to write down this one here. Then when we finish, we're going to go back and plug in everything here. We're going to get the result for this one, for the rational expression here. So I'm going to write down this here, 32x plus 33 and divide by x squared plus 3x plus 2. I can factor this one. So I'm going to factor it either ways. So I'm going to say the steps. Or we can do extra steps, it's fine. X squared plus 3x plus 2. Now we're gonna, this is less than this one, so it's a proper fraction. We're gonna factor the denominator. So here is 32x plus 33 divide by, we're gonna open 2 parentheses, x, 2 times 1, so I'm gonna put 2 here and 1 here. I'm gonna put a plus on the plus, so it's going to be, here is going to be 2x, and this one times this one is going to be 1x. That means it's going to be 3x, which is the middle term. Now I'm going to write down this. Plus 33 divided by x plus 2, x plus 1, and everything is times, equal linear fraction. So we're going to say it's a over x plus 2 plus b over x plus 1. Now, next step, we're going to multiply everything by the least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything by x plus 2, x plus 1. So it's going to be 32x plus 33 divided by x plus 2, x plus 1 times x plus 2, x plus 1. This one is equal a over x plus 2 times the least common denominator, which is x plus 2 and x plus 1, and the plus b over x plus 1 times x plus 2, x plus 1. X plus 1. Now cancel these with these. Cancel x plus 2 with x plus 2, x plus 1 with x plus 1. Let's write down what's the leftover. Here's the left is 32x plus 33, going to be equal a x plus 1 plus b x plus 2. Now, next step, I'm going to distribute the a here and distribute the b here. So it's going to be 32x plus 33 equal ax plus a plus bx plus 2b. Put down the like terms in the groups. So 32x plus 33 is going to be a plus b for the x, a plus, and the second group is going to be a plus 2b. So we're done on putting these in the groups. Now we have to go to the next step. Take the group from here equal to the group from here, and the number constant from here equal to the constant from this side. So let's keep going. That's mean 32 is going to be equal a plus b, and 33 is going to be equal a plus 2b. Now let's change the sign for the second one. So this is a plus, is going to be minus. This is a plus, is going to be minus. And this is a plus, is going to be minus. So I'm going to solve it by elimination. This is cancel. So 32 minus 33 is going to be -1 equal b. 1b minus 2b is going to be equal -b. That means b is going to be equal 1, because divide both sides by -1, so b is going to be equal 1. Now let's plug in 1 in one of these equations. So 32 equal a plus b. That means 32 equal a plus 1. Move 1 to that side, -1 from both sides. So a is going to be equal 32 minus 1 is going to be 31. That means a equals 31 and b equal 1. So we're going to go back here. 32 x plus 33 over x squared plus 3x plus 2 is going to be equal a, which is 31, over x plus 2. The plus b, which is equal 1, over x plus 1. This is b. Now we have to go back to the original rational expression, which is this one. So this side here, this part here is equal these. So our rational expression, this one, is going to be equal. That means 4x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 7 divided by x squared plus 3x plus 2. This one is going to be equal 4x minus 13 plus this one is going to be equal 0.1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 1. That's it for this example. So here's the division. This one is equal. This is the result. And here's partial fraction. So we're going to type everything here. That means it's 4x minus 13 plus fraction, which is 31 over x plus 2, and the plus 1, another fraction, 1 over x plus 1. That's it for number 15. So for example 16, the last one, we're going to do exactly the same steps for example 15. Check the exponents on the top is greater than the exponents here, which means the highest exponent. That's why it's in a proper fraction. So I'm going to use the long division. So I set up the long division. Here's the divisor. So x cubed divided by x squared. So it's going to be just x. X times x squared is going to be x cubed. X times 3x is going to be plus 3x squared. X times negative 4 is going to be negative 4x. Now change the sign, plus to minus minus to plus. This is cancelled. So 2 minus 3 is going to be negative 1x squared. Negative 2 plus 4 is going to be plus 2x. Write down the 1, so plus 1. Now negative x squared divided by x squared is going to be negative 1. Negative 1 times x squared is going to be negative 1x squared. Negative 1 times 3 is going to be negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 4 is going to be plus 4. Change the sign. This is a plus. This is a plus is going to be, this is minus. This is cancelled. So 2 plus 3 is going to be 5x. 1 minus 4, so it's going to be minus 3. So this is the remainder, this is the result, and here is the divisor. That means this thing here, the rational expression, which is x cubed plus 2x squared minus 2x plus 1 divided by x squared plus 3x minus 4 is going to be equal the result, which is x minus 1 plus the remainder, which is 5x minus 3, and the divisor is x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now I need to check the partial fraction for this one. So I'm going ahead, I write down everything here. Again, 5x minus 3 divided by x squared plus 3x minus 4. This one is equal 5x minus 3 over. I'm going to factor this one. So if you factor this one, you're going to use 4 and 1. So I'm going to open two parentheses. X, I'm going to put 4 and 1. The sign is a plus, so I'm going to say plus 4 minus 1. 4x, negative 1x, added is going to be 3x. So that means this is right. So now we need to find the partial fraction for this one. I'm going to write down this again. 5x minus 3 divided by x plus 4, x minus 1 equal. Both are linear factors. So it's going to be a over x plus 4 plus b over x minus 1. Now we're going to do exactly the same steps. So I'm going to multiply by the least common denominator, which is x plus 4, x minus 1. So it's going to be 5x minus 3 over x plus 4, x minus 1. This is times the least common denominator, which is x plus 4, x minus 1, going to be equal. A over x plus 4 times the least common denominator, which is x plus 4, x minus 1. And everything here is a plus b over x minus 1. And you're going to have times by the least common denominator, which is x plus 4 and x minus 1. Cancel these with these. X plus 4 with x plus 4, x minus 1 with x minus 1. Let's check what's the left. So here is going to be 5x minus 3 equal a, and the left here is x minus 1 plus b, and the left here is x plus 4. We're going to distribute here. I want to distribute here. So 5x minus 3 is going to be equal ax minus a plus bx plus 4b. Now let's group the like terms. So 5x minus 3 is going to be equal a plus b to the x. And here's a plus. I'm going to say here the second one is negative a plus 4b. Now let's keep going. So 5x is going to be equal a plus b. That's me 5. We don't have to write down the x. So 5 is going to be equal a plus b, the first one. And the second one is negative 3 equal negative a plus 4b. Let's solve these two equations. This is the first one, and here's the second one. By elimination, we're going to cancel these because they are different signs. 5 minus 3 is going to be 2 equal 1 plus 4 is going to be 5b. That's mean. Divide both sides by 5. So b is going to be equal 2 over 5. So this is the value of b. Now we're going to plug in this one here in the first one to find the value of a. So 5 is going to be equal a plus b. That means 5 is going to be equal a plus b is 2 over 5. We're going to minus 2 over 5 for both sides. Or if you want to multiply everything by 5, let's do it this one, is easier. So it's going to be 25, because I have diameter here, and it's going to be hard to add it to the 5. So it's easier. I'm going to cancel this one. So multiply by 5 is going to be equal 5a plus 2. Minus 2 from both sides. Cancel here. So it's going to be 23 equal 5a. Divide both sides by 5. So a is going to be equal 23 over 5. So here's the value of a. Now I'm going to go back here and find this one. Find the partial fraction. Plug in a and b here. That means 5x minus 3 divided by x plus 4, x minus 1 is going to be equal a It's 23 over 5 divided by x plus 4 plus b, which is 2 over 5 divided by x minus 1. Let's take from these two terms 1 over 5 out. So this one is going to be equal 1 over 5. The left here is a 23 over x plus 4 and plus, we can take 1 over 5 here, so it's going to be 2 over x minus 1. Now we're done from this part. We have to go to the first one, which is plug in everything here. So that's mean our final result for the expression x cubed plus 2x squared minus 2x plus 1 over x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal x minus 1 plus the partial fraction for this term is 1 over 5, 23 over x plus 4 plus 2 over x minus 1. That's it for this example. So we're just going to type here x minus 1 plus fraction 1 over 5. We're going to open parentheses. Another fraction 23 over x plus 4 and plus another fraction 2 over x minus 1, close the parentheses. That's it for example 16. That's it. We submit everything. I click on submit. Let's go back, check if there is a mistakes. And here is all the questions. It says all check marked right. So that's it for this section.